My name's Emerson Dowalder.
My name is Kayla Hosian, and I'm 22 years old.
One thing that I do too much of is actually apologize. There's a few people I know like that as well, but we just tend to say sorry as like a default response to everything. And it kind of ultimately just, in a way, I guess can be taken as apologizing for existing, which I need to stop doing, so I'm trying to stop that. But I mean, you know that I say it way too much anyways. So working on it, not really happening yet, but I'm trying.
I feel like there's two answers. So the first answer would be procrastination, because I'm a huge procrastinator. I leave everything for the last minute, but that also makes for getting everything done really well. Like, I'm someone who the less time I have to do something, the better it comes out, which is awful because then that adds so many gray hairs a little bit. And the other thing would probably be like way too many sexual jokes and sexual puns, and just like, that's my real sense of humor in there. So probably procrastination and sexual jokes.
So one of my role models is actually kind of a tricky question, because I don't really feel like I have any one individual that's really a role model.
My role model would probably be my grandmother. She's my role model because it's funny, she always tells me that I'm her inspiration, and she calls me like, you are my inspiration, but I never understood that because she's gonna be 80 years old and has lived through so much, and I can't believe that I would be the one to inspire her when all along for my whole life she's always been the one to inspire me, so she would definitely be my role model.
There's people that I look up to and aspects of who they are, but no one that in particular is who I want to be as an adult. I mean, I am an adult now, but you know. I'd have to say probably my dad. He's just done so much in his life, and he's done it because he enjoyed it. And that's something that I really am trying to do as well. The reason why I'm even going to school is because I enjoy learning and I enjoy what I'm studying. I'm not doing it to get money. I mean, if I was, I wouldn't be a film major. So one of my biggest goals in life is ultimately actually just to have fun. I know that seems really loose, but I feel like everything you have to enjoy what you're doing, otherwise is life really all that worth it? But I also have short-term stuff like being more physically active, eating better, all those kinds of things. I'm also slowly working toward trying to shoot an independent film using the school's resources in the next few years or so.
My goals are definitely to own my own production company.
Because film major, might as well use my resources while I'm here. But we'll see how I get to that. But ultimately it's just about having fun.
Eventually I want to open it up with two of my best friends that we've already talked about. This is something that we want to do together. We all kind of balance each other out in terms of what we can bring to the table, and as someone who loves pre-production and writing and now directing, I really want to bring that to the table.
I do have some other artistic endeavors. Since I was really little, I love telling stories. So as a kid, that was running around pretending to be Harry Potter at recess. Now that sort of has become my film major, but also I really like writing. So there's multiple sort of book ideas that I'm working on and trying to make happen. I also recently have gotten into Dungeons and Dragons because running a game of that is very much so sort of collaborative storytelling. So it's super fun and it's great practice for screenwriting and just writing in general.
Artistic endeavors that I'd want to eventually pursue would definitely have to be installation work. I've already worked with that medium before becoming a filmmaker, and it was interesting because I got to collaborate and bring my filmmaking side into that medium. And for my final project in college, I actually really wanted to create this space where I recreated my grandmother's bedroom actually in this installation. And it was really impressive to me that I could bring this new space into a different space, the same way that within a film you bring an audience into a different space, but this was a more physical space. Favorite story from my life and childhood would probably be, I don't know, I've never really been asked that question before.
One of my favorite stories is actually one I can't really remember. It was from when I was super little, but I've heard it so many times from my mom that I pretty much have it ingrained in my brain at this point. But as a little kid, I had a ton of speech impediments. So I had a lisp, all of my R's were W's, and a ton of other things. But one time I was going with my mom to get smoothies from Juice It Up. I think it was Juice It Up. And I'm super talkative and was then too, except then of course no one could really understand what I was saying. But I decided I was gonna tell the guy who worked there all about all of these movies about trucks I have at home. So, because, you know, little kid, we have like the fire truck movies, construction truck, you know, just movies with trucks in them. And so I was telling this guy, the only problem was the TR sound I couldn't pronounce. So it made an F sound. So I was actually telling the guy about all of the fuck movies we have at home. About the fire fuck, construction fuck, monster fuck, and how I love my fuck movies, and I love watching them with my dad and my mom and my sister. We all love the fuck movies. Yeah, so my mom was pretty embarrassed and backtracking. The guy thought it was hilarious, so he kept on making me say it. Of course, I didn't get what was going on. This guy was just super nice and we were talking, but yeah.
Okay, well, one story that just happened to me like 2 days ago was I went to the LA red carpet premiere of George Clooney's film Suburbicon. And at the premiere, as he was leaving, I went to go talk to him, and I had like a full-on conversation with him about, there's this scene in the film where Julianne Moore comes out in a blonde wig, and it really reminded me of this really pivotal scene in Vertigo. And Hitchcock had Kim Novak come out, and she looks exactly like Jimmy Stewart's lost lover. And so there's this moment in that film where that kind of happens, and I made that connection instantly as a huge Hitchcock fan, and I really wanted to talk to the director about it, forget that it was George Clooney, and then getting to have that conversation with him was incredible.